In the last lesson, we look at how to add HTML markup to our project in order to achieve our navigation bar. While we do that, this was what we're able to get. In this lesson, we'll be looking at how to add CSS styling to our page so that when we are done, it looks something similar to this. So let's dive into it. So, few things to note in our markup. If you check some of the lines, I just added some CSS class. For instance, if you check line 69, I added the sign-in class. Also, line 70, I added the Hamburger menu class. And also, on line 65, we also have the cart class added. And let's dive into how to style it with our CSS. So with the CSS, I created the CSS file, then link the CSS at the top. At any point, if you want the source code, you can always visit github.com/instincthub, then /navbar. First, let's declare some styling to our HTML body. The body tag is the first that you will see. So let's try to see how that works. So for the body, we want to remove this default margin. You can see like a space here. Let's try to remove the default. Let's target the body. Then we're going to make the margin to be 0. So once the margin is 0, if you check, you see that the space is gone. The next is we need to declare a background. Background color is going to be hexadecimal value. Use D9E 8E5. We save it, you should be able to see our background color change. The next is let's target the head tag, the header tag. Then the header tag, we're going to declare background color of white. So we can say, if we check, we should be able to see the background color. Then we can have the box shadow. Let's have 1 pixel. Then we want 20 blur, pixel blur. Also RGBA. Then let's declare a black color. Then we just want the opacity to be 0.1. If you check, you should be able to see this shadow at the bottom. Moving forward, mean width to be, I want it to be 100%. If you check, everything still works perfect. So I think for us to be able to have a clearer view, let's just have our display side by side. So we're just going to have it side by side. Yes, so something like this, we can be seeing what we are doing in real time. So let's target the navbar, targeting the navbar class here. So to target the navbar, we're just going to say navbar. Then we want all the A elements in the navbar. Then we want to target the navbar as well. So we want the text decoration to be none. So remove all the link decorations. Then we want the color to be black. We also want the font weight to be 600. You can see everything looks bigger. Let's target the navbar again. But this time around, we're going to call it the 90% width. You don't want it to take all the width. So the next is we want to say margin 0, then auto. You should see that we have it fall in between. Then following that, we want position to be relative. So at this point, let's target the menu list. Remember, on mobile, we don't want all those things to show. So we're just going to say navbar, then target the menu list. Just going to say display none. can see that everything is gone. One thing we need to target again is logo 1. Logo 1. We want the logo 1 to display none. You can see that logo 1 is gone. Following that, we want to target the navbar. Then we want to display this navbar, the sign up button, to be display flex. So let me show you what we're trying to do now. We've hidden this list, but we want to display this navbar flex so that everything goes on the same line. So all those things are going to be displayed flex. So let's go back to our code and just target the navbar. Then we also want to target navbar, then the sign up class. Let's look at where the sign up class is. Sign up is what wrap this sign up and the hamburger menu. So let's go back and just display them flex. You can see that everything is on the same straight line. Then we want to justify content. We want space between. Space between. You can see that we have space between them. Following that, we want to target the navbar again. So we can come make our declaration here. So we want the padding top to be 1.5 m. 1.5 m. You can see padding at the top, then we want padding bottom as well. Want bottom. We can say we want 1.5 as well. So you can see the space padding at the top and padding below. So let's target the sign up class. Just going to copy it. Then we give it the width of 200 pixels. You can see that we have space. So we are declaring 200 pixels for all this so that it can have space in between. Following that, we can then also target the cat. So we want to style this cat segment. Then we can target the cat by just calling sign up, then followed by the cat. We want the position to be relative. So we want to target the cat image. So we can just copy this cat image. We want the margin top to be 10 pixels. You can see that I push it down a bit. That works. Following that, we need to also target where we have the span, the number. So to target the span, something similar to this. But this time around, we are not targeting the image, we are targeting the span. To target the span, we're just going to say position. We want it absolute. Then we want the font size to be 10 pixels. We want it smaller. Then we want the font width. Font weight to be, want it bolder. So this is 800. You can see that it's bolder. Then we want it to go to the top. It's going to be maybe -5 pixels. That works. Then we want it to go to the right. Right can be -10 pixels. Just a bit to the right. Then we want the border radius of 10 pixels. We want the color to be white. Let's use hexadecimal. Then let's have the background image. This time around we want to use a gradient. So to use a gradient, we're just going to use linear gradient. Then we want to write. You can look up how this works. Just check Google on how to add gradients to your element. So we're going to apply our first color, which is going to be 026D5D77. Then we're going to have 13A7B4. Then we'll have the last color, which is going to be 13A7B4. So we should have something like gradient there. What we need to add now is padding. Padding is going to be, let's say 3 pixel, then 8 pixel. You can see that we have something cool. And that should be all for the cart. Let's check out the sign in button. So to declare for the sign in button, we just need to call something similar to this. Then target the class of sign in. Also, we need a gradient on this as well. But what we can do here is just copy this and paste it. You can see that we already have something. Then for this, we can just reduce. I think we can just reduce this and make it just 2 color declarations, just to make it darker. Then after we have that, we can declare the padding to be 10 pixel top and bottom, then 15 pixel left and right. You can see it. Then we need to change the text color to white. Also, let's make the border radius to be 40 pixel. You can see the beautiful curve. Okay, so right now, if we check, our program seems to be running perfectly, but we want to be able to undo the responsiveness so that when we have it on bigger screen, the hamburger menu will disappear, then we have the full logo, then with the text in between. For us to do that, let's declare our media query. So we're just going to say at media min width of 1024 pixel. So whenever the screen sizes exceed 1024, we want to apply this style. So the first thing we can target is the navbar and just give it a max width. The max width can be 1024 pixel. So even when the screen is bigger than 1024 pixel, you see that the content will just stay in scope. The next thing is we need to hide the hamburger menu. Then look for the hamburger menu and just set the display to none. So right now we can still see the hamburger menu because the screen size is still small, but if we increase it, you can see that it disappears whenever the screen size gets bigger. At this point, let's try to increase our screen so that we can get the direct display. So now that we're able to hide the hamburger menu, we can see that the space between this is a bit wider. So let's try to reduce it. So we can get that with the navbar. Then sign up class. Then we can just say that we want the width to be 150 pixel. You can see that they are closer to each other. We want to target the logo, so we can just say Navbar logo 1 display block. If we come, we'll be able to see it. So let's hide the logo 2. You can just duplicate this and just say 2. Then we can declare this to be none. You can see that the logo 2 is gone and the logo 1 stays. So even if we check the screen sizes, you can see logo switch each time. It makes sense. The next thing is we need to be able to display our list here. So let's see how that works. Still in our media query, we can just say Navbar, then menu list. We want to display flex. Let's check it out. You can see that we have it display flex. We want margin to the top. Margin top can be 10 pixels. Then we want the justify content to be space between. Also, we want the width. We want it to contain the width of 40%. So now we want to be able to target all those drop-down lists and just hide them since we don't need them yet. To do that, we just use the class selector to select them. Class is drop-down list. Just set the display to be none. And if you check, they are gone. Following that, we need to target this icon and make them display flex. To do that, we can just say Navbar, then drop down link, that's the class title, drop down link, just make the display to be flex. And if you check it, you can see that we have the item or the icon display by the side. And if we reduce, you can see that our nav is responding to the screen sizes. And that's really cool. And that's how we wrap it up for this one. In the next lesson, we'll be looking at how to add more function with CSS so that when we increase and reduce, we'll be able to declare our CSS to display each time the user click. And after we're able to achieve that, we're going to be using JavaScript to toggle and to add classes and hide them whenever the user click. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media handles. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.